either. I don't either. I get so crazy. So anyways, let's go.
Go live. Remove. End broadcast. All right. Hold on a second. I tried to reuse an old link. All right, here we go. Anyway, we're live. Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
Rick Janson and Monica Janowiak in Denver and Las Vegas. How you doing this morning?
Good. I'm a little tired because I'm absolutely slammed right now, which is always a good thing when you're in real estate. So
absolutely. So you just told me. I mean, people sometimes think, well, you're an EXP. All you do is attract and recruit agents. Tell me about your production. What are you doing, like personally?
Well, I've got one closing tomorrow. I've got one that went under contract on Monday or Sunday. I've got a referral that's hopefully going under contract today in Phoenix. I've got a buyer here in Denver that we're desperately trying to get. That's a little tough because she's right in that section of there's just nothing available. So, and let's see, and another buyer in Vegas. So there we go. I'm just crazy. So this is totally off script. Not like we ever really have one, but I have no idea what we're going to talk about because I didn't have time to plan. So I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah, we have no script. We have no plan.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
So yesterday I just posted, and I'll try to put it in the comments here. There was EXPI shareholder meeting, and it was day one. Here we go. No, that's not it. So anyway, I'll do it later. But EXPI shareholders meeting. Go to YouTube, Google top, or do a search bar for top cloud agents. I posted an EXPI shareholder summary. But we heard from Glenn Sanford and Jason Gessing, our CEO and our founder, Dave Kennord and Stacey Onen, our co-presidents, Michael Valdez, president of global operations, Jeff Whiteside, our finance guy, Mike Vane, EVP of people, all these wonderful speakers, right? Leadership, transparently sharing what's going on. And part of what was really cool to see was just the fact that our agent growth is through the roof, but our production and our volume are even higher, which means that the agents we're bringing on are producing more. The new agents are producing more. Go ahead.
Well, no, which being a former recruiter, that's really important. I mean, you can have a million bodies in there, but if nobody's producing, it does nothing for you. So you can, if there's no production, there's nothing. So the fact that people are actually producing, we're getting all these agents in and people are actually producing. It's great for us. It's great for the stock too. So
yeah, it is. And your camera just found you. Your pixelation just went away. You look beautiful this morning.
Oh,
so the other thing that was happening, we told some stories of agents who came on board and doubled their production every year. So went from 9 million to 200 million.
Right.
Another agent that went, doubled first year, quadrupled his production the second year. And they said the reason was because of our collaboration, because of our open learning environment, because of we just brought on 75 new instructors and 150 new courses. Like the learning opportunity is phenomenal.
I can speak firsthand to that, Rick. Remember, to just recap my story, is that my father was sick with Alzheimer's, and I was basically working off just referrals for a couple of years, and decided I wasn't even going to stay in real estate because I was bored out of my mind with it. And then I finally listened to you, joined EXP, and really, I don't know why. I guess I do. It's the power of attraction. I'm exploded in my business, and I don't think I've ever been this busy ever in my career. So it's kind of a cool thing. So whatever the reason, I'm just going to blame EXP for that.
There you go. Well, and here's the cool thing, because I know you've been talking to some commercial brokers about joining EXP.
Yes.
And we are not only introducing like the country's first like standardized forms and accessibility, because residential has forms and everything that you need.
Absolutely.
Commercial's been way behind the 8 ball on it. So we're introducing forms and contracts and everything else that you need to do commercial, which is fantastic. We're also introducing a mentoring program where people who are newer to commercial can have somebody that's alongside them who's done 50 million a year in business to teach them, grow them, mentor them on how to get to the next level, how to start, right? We're going to have people who are good at multifamily, land deals, triple net leases, whatever, business brokerage, teaching and training in EXP commercial, just like we do in residential.
I love it. I mean, the amount of training, it sounds so cliche. Oh, the training is so wonderful. But you know what? It doesn't matter what you need. You can find it. It doesn't matter what questions you ask, what you need, you can go in and find it. And there's always somebody available. Always. You don't have to wait for your managing broker or, somebody in your office. There's always somebody available.
Always. We have 1,100 staff now. 1,100 staff working
Crazy.
virtually.
Well, in our conversation the other day, when I texted you, I said, yay, I'm finally becoming less dependent on Rick Janson for all of my needs. I'm actually figuring it out all in EXP world and who I can ask. And it's so easy. I'm like, oh, don't need Rick anymore. But
I love when you don't need me. Well, hey, here's something that Trent and I were discussing on the Is EXP Good for a New Agent show. We were that the EXP kind of read our minds, right? And so all of a sudden in the background, it's always in search of, agent obsessed, getting the highest net promoter score. EXP has introduced the Hub, which has a state-by-state guide for how to onboard into EXP.
Right.
So you can be in Georgia and sponsoring someone in Hawaii and with no clue, and go into the stateroom, go into the state specific area on how to onboard Hawaii, and the agent can do it themselves. You can help them on, but it solved a huge problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, for myself being licensed in 2 states, believe me, there's a big difference in those 2 states and what is needed, especially in forms. It's crazy. But procedure wise, there's a big difference, and having the access to both of those experts in those states is just, it's amazing. It's just, and it's almost 24 hours, it feels like, but I'm pretty sure people do have to sleep. So maybe not in Vegas, maybe not in Vegas.
Well, hey, how can I be, I mean, I could go on and on about shareholders, but people can go Google it and find my summary. I want you to watch the summary too, since you were too busy yesterday. We have 90 breakout sessions this week.
Awesome.
I mean, it's almost impossible to see everything that we offer and still be in production, but you have to do both. How can I help you this week? What do you need help either with production? How do you need help with agent attraction, with learning tools and systems? Like, let's spend the next few minutes just how can I help you?
Well, you know what? For me, as you know, busting into the luxury market in Nevada specifically is my target right now and what I'm working towards, and becoming that the go-to agent for that. And in regards to the go-to agent, I don't know, have you ever read the book, The Go-Giver? Have you?
I haven't. I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
What a great book. And I actually, when I read it, I thought, wow, this is kind of how I want to live my life. There's also a Facebook page on it, the Go-Giver Influencers. But it's all about giving and giving and giving, because we are always constantly on that wheel of getting and getting and getting and go getting and go getting and go getting, when it's actually the giving part that brings everything back to you. You give. The better you give, the better service. The more you fill people's needs, the more they're going to come back to you and tell people about you as well. So
Nice.
That's kind of my focus on that.
The Go-Giver. I'm looking it up right now if you're wondering what I'm doing in the background.
Yeah, it's awesome. No, that's okay. It's a great, great book.
The Go-Giver, a little story about a powerful business idea.
Yep.
And then there's another one that says The Go-Giver, a little story about what matters most in business.
I haven't read that one yet. I probably should. But it's such a great, great little book. And again, that's what I build my life off of is giving and finding the answers and anticipating the needs of clients and making sure that I fill all those needs. So it's a fun way to run my business. Instead of grabbing, I'm giving.
Nice. Well, we've got something that we're going to do for you luxury wise in Vegas. We're going to talk about that very soon, but not today.
Okay. I can't wait.
And and what was exciting too is it was hinted at. I mean, I just heard one word where EXP. I mean, constructive criticism. The only place where EXP falls behind a little bit is in our luxury image.
Sure.
And there was a tease yesterday about how the only time I ever heard luxury mentioned was tied to Success Magazine.
Ooh.
So
Well, if you're going to be tied to anything, that's a good one to be tied to.
it is indeed, right? 120 something year old publication, huge resource of education, of training, of speakers. And EXPI last year bought Success. Success now, we're offering franchises for co-working spaces. Every Success franchise will have a Success certified coach, and we're offering how to get certified as a Success certified coach. It's like $5,000, 5-day training, really in depth to raise the bar in coaching. So you can open up a Success franchise. You can become a Success coach. There will be sort of tracking apps and speaker development and all sorts of stuff, all as a part of making the agents who want to be better people, better business people, more well-rounded. That's why Glenn purchased Success. That's why EXPI purchased Success. And the luxury brand of EXP is going to benefit as well. I'm super excited to see that.
I can't wait. And hopefully I'll be on the forefront of all of that too. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, and another thing for you to look forward to is the Mirage. Do you like the Mirage in Vegas?
It's beautiful, of course.
So in November, I think it's November 9 to 11, EXPCon, the conference, our annual conference, has been announced to be live this year.
Yay.
Anticipating vaccinations are successful and to a point that we can go live again. So the Mirage, and it's what we booked for last year when we were like half the size. So we've already outgrown the venue, but we just rolled it forward. So, I mean, I anticipate it's going to sell out really, really quickly. But the Mirage, November 9 to 11, go to the summary that I posted in there, like scroll forward, it shows the convention. But book it now because you'll probably be there anyway, picking up a new investment property.
I'll be there anyways. Exactly. So listen, I do have a quick question, and you can speak to this personally too. Tell me about, and I'm not going to, let's see, how do I say this? Tell me about you as an independent broker moving over to EXP. How long did it take for you to actually do that? What made you do it? And what made you resist if you did? I don't know the answers to all those questions.
You don't know the answers to any of them.
But I want to hear it.
Yeah. So I started seeing EXP in the news, right? I started seeing EXP on Inman and a couple other places. And I'm just like, I don't get it. And I just ignored it. I just blew it off. Rather than research it, I just blew it off. And then I was supposed to be on Tim and Julie's podcast, Tim and Julie Harris, the real estate radio show, real estate radio. I think maybe that's what it's called, but it's like the #1 podcast for realtors in the world. And Tim was going to have me on to talk about fixing and flipping and balancing life and all this other stuff. And I'm all excited, right? So Friday morning, he calls me up and he said, "Hey, I know we're supposed to do podcasts, but we're not going to today." I'm like, "What?" He said, "But here's the deal." He's like, "Why aren't you with EXP?"
Oh, so you were using him as a coach. He was just your coach.
Well, I was at the time I had been trained up as a Harris certified coach. So I not only had Rochelle as my personal coach. Rochelle is one of Tim and Julie's longest running coaches. So she was my personal one-on-one coach. She was not with EXP either. Tim and Julie were not with EXP. But Tim's like, "Why aren't you with EXP?" And I said, "Because I don't get it." And he said, "Well, I'm going to do some monkey math for you, and you're going to get it in about 30 minutes." And I'm bringing on 40 people frontline to me. You're either in or you're out. And I knew I was never going to have a chance to have a national coach, former #1 realtor in the entire country, have a vested financial interest in my success. Like that was just a gift from God. And so once I started realizing that, yeah, it was going to be a little painful at first to give up 100% of me, to give up 50% on my agents, to give up 80-20, 90-10 splits. A little bit painful to think mentally like, wow, $16,000, that's just kind of gone, right? That's where my head was, right? All of a sudden I'm going to pay $16,000. Right now I'm paying nothing. I was paying plenty. I was paying for my CRM, for my IDX, for my marketing. I was paying in all these tangible and non-tangible ways that I had never added up. And I was paying because I was missing opportunity. I was missing the opportunity to grow something internationally when I was so myopically focused on domestic, right? I was thinking 1 MLS, 2 MLSs, 3 MLSs, expand to 4, with all the admin and the headache and everything else that goes with that. So my ego said, I can build Denver lifestyle, then build it as a mountain lifestyle, Colorado lifestyle, American lifestyle. Like I could build this brand, this fictitious monster of a brand. But at what cost, right? It was more than $16,000 in time lost from my family, time lost from my wife, time lost from me. I hadn't skied in years, right? And like the stuff I was giving up, sleep, health, to be an independent broker was just incredible. So when Tim started breaking down for me, like, hey, you attract one agent, capping agent. Let's talk in capping agents because it's a lot easier. Capping is when 80-20 split, 16,000 goes up to corporate. Half of that's designed to go back to agents. When someone you vouch for comes into EXP, names you as a sponsor, when they cap over the course of the year, you get paid up to $2,800. Tim said, you do that every other month, you're at 16,800.
Just like that.
You just made your cap back.
Yeah.
Dude, bam. Then do that every year, you start growing by 16,800 every year. And all you have to do is attract one capping agent every other month. Now, let's say those 6 agents try to be you. They try and they fail. They only attract one capping agent in the entire year. On that second level, that's up to $3,200 times 6. That's $19,800 plus the front level. You're now at $36,000 a year, passive residual income. That's $3,000 a month. He said, Rick, how would that change your life? And I said, Tim, my house would be free at that point because that would pay my mortgage.
Right.
Right. So you go from making 100% of your own commission to attract 6 agents who attract one each. I mean, I was attracting 6 agents a year anyway to my independent brokerage, but it was all the personal play. It was all join me, believe in me. And now it's like, believe in this amazing, fastest growing company in North America that's ever existed. Believe in that. That's an easier sell than believe in Rick. Retention. I would train up an agent and then the spouse would get transferred to Kansas. I'd lose my agent.
That's a big one. I had that happen a couple of times when I was recruiting, and that's a heartbreaker.
Yeah. Heartbreaker, right? But now I'm like, hey, go move. Do what's best for your family. Go to Alaska, go to Hawaii, go to Nova Scotia. I don't care. Like, do what's best for your family. Move to Mexico, move to Brazil because, hey, puppies, move to Brazil because like you're still in my revenue share group. I can still invest in you for life, right? Because as long as you're a real estate agent, you're still going to be in my group. And I don't have to worry about all that lost time. Look at this face, huh?
A face you have to love.
So like you can work from home, you can pet Charlie, you can get, you can do all this stuff and still grow an international business, which is what I always wanted to do when I was in college. And I spent 17 months overseas in 5 years, and I lost that drive. I lost that ambition. I lost that dream because I got bogged down by the shackles, the handcuffs of being an independent broker. And what EXP did for me was awaken me a dream that I could be an international businessman again, right? I could expand to, this morning I'm waking up, Lee and I are talking about going to Japan, right? Wow. Like, because we're going to open in Japan in the 3rd quarter. So we're already talking to a friend of his in Seattle who knows a broker who has 40 agents in Japan. And we're trying to launch that conversation now in anticipation of where we can be in 6 months.
That's amazing.
I'm talking with Elisa every day, every other day in Brazil. I was talking to someone here's the crazy thing about EXP, right? So I have this wonderful agent in my revenue share group, Jeanette Diestro, fantastic agent, San Jose, California. She says, hey, one of my childhood friends just became, is an agent up in Nova Scotia, place I've never been. So she gets me on a phone call with this wonderful agent who sold 16 homes his first year up in Nova Scotia, and he signs an application to join EXP. 2 people last year I had never met, right? But EXP in Nova Scotia is going to help him, train him, support him, give him marketing, give him tools to succeed in a way, and have a draw and an attraction with company resources that I could never, ever provide on my own.
Yeah,
But
that's
Tim broke, and I'll wrap this up, but Tim broke it down for me one time. He said, look, $10 billion has been spent in the last 2 years alone to convince people they don't need a real estate agent. He said, you're not going to be able to keep doing what you've been doing to keep getting the same results. If you keep doing what you've been doing, your results are going to start going down. And this is coming from a national coach, right? One of the most respected real estate coaches on the planet. He said, you are going to get crushed. Quite frankly, the way you're doing business is not going to be successful in 2 years, 5 years, much less than 10. He said, if you don't start creating a new way of doing business, a backstop, a passive revenue stream, if you don't start offloading some of this liability and get into real estate production harder because you're not having to manage people, you can actually do your own production. If you don't start doing some of these things like in this seller's market, and while interest rates are down, you're going to get crushed. And then what sort of retirement are you going to have? By the way, do you have a retirement plan?
exactly.
No. And he said, well, can I have permission to be direct with you? He said, you better get damn well pissed off at yourself. If you've been in real estate for more than 5 years and you don't have that retirement plan already in place or completely funded, and people are going to say, that's not possible. 5 or 10 years at EXP, that is absolutely possible.
I would have never said that.
I'm talking to 20-year-olds. I'm like, look, you can be retired by the time you're 26. Financially free to be an artist, to be a chef, to be an inner school teacher for special needs kids, like whatever you want to do, you can do that knowing that your financial nest egg, your financial game is completely out of the way.
Love it.
And so when I wake up in the morning, I have this ability to just reach into the Santa bag of gifts and pull out for people marketing, training, global, corporate, commercial, whatever it is, and say, how much of this can I give you? How much of a dream for a future can I give you? Because it's exciting, right? Like I can teach you to dream again. I can help make real estate fun again.
Yes, that's what happened to me.
Yeah, I can plug you into Libertas and Tim and Sean and Julie and Jean and Kevin. And it's the resources we have in the Libertas group at EXP are unbelievable. You can start hanging around.
I've researched others and nothing compares to Libertas, like really.
Yeah. Really. So, I mean, the ability to hang around the nicest multimillionaires you've ever met,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to teach you everything they've ever learned and have a financial incentive to see you succeed. It just blows my mind.
That's the biggest part. That's the biggest part. They have the financial incentive. You know what? Yeah, they're being nice. Of course they are, right? But let's be honest, we work for a living, and that's their job. Their job is to bring people in who are going to be producing and creating revenue for everybody. So it's kind of a cool, it's a great situation for any realtor that's actually thinking about joining. So, and it took me, what, 2 years, 3 years, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
Well, Monica, I don't want to keep you. I know we're going to have these 15 minutes, but you asked me the why EXP question. I got off on a rabbit hole.
That's okay. We were just a couple minutes over, so thank you. I appreciate it.
But hey, if anybody wants to reach out to Monica, Monica was a recruiter for a franchise. She can tell you like both sides of the coin. She can tell you how to grow your business and your team over there. She can tell you how to grow your business and your team over here. She is available for your questions, comments, concerns, interests, or just to talk about life in general at 720-217-8675. Give her a buzz because she's amazing.
Thanks, Rick.
Have a good day.
You as well.